In this video, I will be doing my first check-in for Kelly Bear's Tarot Advent tag. Let's do it! Okay, so the Tarot Advent tag. This is super fun, and I've seen a lot of videos and posts about it already within the first week of this going on. If you haven't seen or heard of this, I will link Kelly Bear's original video in the description box. She has a couple. Maybe I'll link a couple just because they kind of go together. So what Kelly has set out for us is at the beginning of December, we chose a deck to work with for the entire duration of this little project. And each day, beginning December 1st, you draw 3 cards. And then you set those cards aside. They do not get shuffled back to into the deck. And so it's a gradual elimination process as you go through each day. Your deck becomes 3 cards smaller. And then on Christmas Day, you actually, the way the math works, you end up with 6 cards left. So you will do a 6-card reading on Christmas Day. There are a lot of creative ways people are working with this. Some people are making like playlists with songs that like fit the mood of each set of cards that they pull. I think some people are writing poems or like mini stories. It's really, really fun. It's a great way to work with the tarot that in a way that's not so serious. I guess it's just ample opportunity for fun. My voice is in and out because in mid-November, I contracted some form of respiratory plague and it was awful. The last time I was that sick was when I had RSV. But even the cough went away sooner than it has with this. I am like almost a month in and I'm still coughing. But according to my doctor with these respiratory viruses now, that's pretty normal, which is really sad. Anyway, that was a tangent. Moving on. So what I decided to do for this little project is that for each set of 3 cards that I drew each day, I would come up with just a one-liner kind of interpretation, just a sentence, a statement. I haven't done a question yet, but I could see that maybe becoming a thing just if it's something I might want to contemplate later. The deck I am using is the Darkness of Light Tarot. I'll put a photo of the back of what that looks like here. And I actually have the book with me. It's an indie deck. This book is really, really, really good. It's wee, but it's got great stuff in it. There's some cool seasonal associations. The way the majors are described is really good. There's even some stuff in the back for if you wanted to use the tarot for gameplay, which is really, really fun. And it's just, I really like it. It's good. It's comprehensive. So I did bring this with me just in case I need to reference it. I don't think I will because I did writing in my book. This is my channel book. It's a Leuchtturm 1917 B5. I even had my channel name embossed on it. And this is just a dumping ground for video stuff. So I'm going to find my notes. And then what I'm going to do is go day by day. I'm going to tell you what cards I drew, and then I will read the one-liner that I came up with for that set. So we'll begin with day 1. Day 1, I did a post in my community tab about day 1 as well. Day 1, I drew the 9 of Cups, the King of Wands, and Death. So pretty balanced 3 set of cards, a numbered minor, a court, and a major. And what I did was kind of string the sentence from the first card to the last card. So it kind of goes in order for the most part. So for the 9 of Cups, the King of Wands, and Death, the one-liner that just came to me, I didn't take too long developing these either, just kind of quickly, intuitively. If I were just to interpret this as like a mini story, what would it be? And so for these 3, the one-liner I came up with was, contentment can only go so far before one is pushed by instinct to act in order to bring meaningful and lasting change. So that's my one-liner for day 1. Day 2, the cards I drew were Judgment, the 8 of coins, and the lovers. So 2 majors on either side of a minor. The one-liner I came up with for day 2 was, reflecting on one's past can provide grounded stability regarding the choices made for one's future. Pretty simple. Day 3, I pulled the 5 of wands, strength, and the 5 of blades. So a major in between 2 5s. I love it when stuff like this happens because it prompts me to look at patterns, and I love the tarot for that. Darkness of Light is an RWS based deck, so strength is at 8 and justice is at 11. So in this case, strength is 8. The one-liner I came up with for day 3 was, a chaotic course of action can be soothed by attuning to one's quiet power, a balm for the deluge of conflicting thoughts. I really like this strength card a lot, just because it's a little bit more receptive and calm compared to other strength cards I've seen, because the figure is actually like sitting. I have a couple other decks, I think, where the figure is like crouched or like almost on the level with the creature. It has a bit more of sort of this quiet, really getting centered energy for me, which I really, really like between 2 5s, because 5s are not calm. As that 5 is the number of change, whether that's good productive change or chaotic unproductive change. This late autumn light is brutal, and I'm probably going to lose it pretty soon, so I'm going to try to get through this a little bit faster, just so all of this like staticky looking stuff doesn't like carry over to my face. Day 4, I pulled the Page of Cups, the 4 of Wands, the 3 of Coins. I'm just going to get this out of the way now. The 3 of Coins in this deck, it makes me laugh so hard, because you have these 3 like really broody figures in it, and you know, they're obviously a very cohesive unit. You know, that that's there, but they don't look overly thrilled to be there. And it makes me laugh. It's kind of creepy too, just at first glance, but when you look at the faces really carefully, they just look like they're mad, sort of. And it makes me laugh. But I really like the way that they did the triangle for the coins. So the figure in front is holding the coin in the center, and the other 2 coins are on the ground. So it's that triangle. So you have that core. For me, it's that core of the ace in the middle there, and then the 2 sort of in a line down here for that triangle. And I really like that, because you have the core coin here. So that initial like gift, or that seed, that origin energy. But in order to expand, for me 3s are expansion, among other things, but expansion is the main keyword I have. You need that support on either side. So, and when you have your core plus support, that will enable you to expand. So I really like the way that 3 of the coins are laid out on this card. It makes me happy. Okay, moving on. The one-liner I came up with for day 4 was, grounded emotion lies a foundation of action for expanding resources. And because the page for me is the earth of water, and so it's giving form, like that initial form, to a feeling or a relationship or something to do with emotions or emoting. And if one is in that sort of, it's also, pages are like the beginner mindset too. If that is grounded, then good choices have the potential to be made for that expansion piece. Oh, I forgot to say, I'm doing day 1 through 6 in this video. I've made this an evening practice, and so I have not pulled cards yet for the 7th. I'm filming this on Saturday the 7th. It might take a few days for it to get uploaded, because I have a bit on my agenda at the moment. So day 5, this is my favorite day so far, because it's one of those things, it's one of those sets of cards that just makes me love tarot. So day 5, I pulled the 3 of Wands, the Ace of Wands, and Justice. Justice in this case is 11. It's RWS based. And when I saw this set of cards with the Ace in the middle, the 3 on either side, and Justice on the right, I immediately thought, ghost card, ghost card. Kelly Fitzgerald has a great video that she did for Tarot-thon several years ago, I think. Maybe it wasn't that long ago. I don't remember. But it's all about ghost cards. And a ghost card is a card that is not present in the reading, but it's still important. And in this case, it's a wand card because I have the 3 and I have the ace, but I don't have the 2. But I have justice on the right. And for the RWS base decks, justice is 11, 1 plus 1 is 2. So that 2 is there. It's just not a wand. And but the 2 of wands is still important for me here, just because of the other 2 wands that are present, and then the equating to in justice. So this is what makes me love tarot, just because it gets you to think about things in a different way. The one-liner I came up with for day 5 was spontaneously acting on one's desires based on the flicker of a flame can have profound and lasting consequences. And that doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. Consequences are inherently neither good or bad. It's just a result of something happening. It could be a good thing. So this is one of those where you look at both sides of the coin, where you have that initial spark of the ace and then you have the 3, but the 2 is not there, but it's suggested injustice. And so it could be one of those things that if you act spontaneously based on your intuition, 2s for me are very much about intuition, high priestess energy. Sometimes acting really, really spontaneously on that initial bit of inspiration can yield fantastic results, because you're not overthinking it and you're not contemplating it to death. You sense it and you do it. So like that ace to the 3 and that 2 kind of just you just kind of slide through that 2, or you skip it almost altogether. But because justice is here, I associate justice, particularly in this position or this number with 11, as consequences. So positive consequence, negative consequence, but regardless of what it is, it's going to affect what's going to happen later on. So sometimes it's good to just act on the impulse and you just trust your intuition, but other times it can be a bit foolhardy and you might need to spend some time sitting with it for a while before you jump, because 3s are very 3s are more for me that not immature, but I guess developing action. It's like a burst. If you think Empress, it's just like things just bloom. It's not quite refined. 7s for me are more that refined movement, like the Chariot. So think Chariot energy. It's more that deliberate with a focus movement. 3s are a bit more, kind of like that. And that can be a good thing, depending on the context and the situation and people involved. But that one really got me thinking a lot about things and just reminded me of why tarot is so great. So that was day 5. Day 6, I pulled the Hierophant, the 7 of Wands, and the 4 of Cups. I'm actually in the minority, I think, that really likes the Hierophant as a card. But to be fair, I don't really have any religious trauma in my background. I know that can be a thing for some. If you have an aversion to the Hierophant card, a lot of it has to do with stuff that happened in a religious or organizational religious context. I grew up rather secular. I did go to church on occasion for various things. My mom kind of hopped me around, but I didn't really assimilate it into my own experience, just because I didn't feel this was the be-all, end-all truth for all the things. But I liked the stories, and I liked the music, and all of that stuff. That was right up my alley. But as far as like taking this in as gospel, I was like, there are other options. This is one of but many. I associate the Hierophant very much with sacred things, with sacredness, things that are sacred. The High Priestess too. For me, those are like 2 sides. The Emperor and the Empress are kind of 2 sides of a coin, and the Priestess and the Hierophant are kind of 2 sides of a coin. And also the Magician and the High Priestess. There's interesting connections between the majors there that a lot of people have written about. But I like the Hierophant. Moving on from that. The one-liner I came up with for this was: the personal assimilation of that which is sacred can be enhanced by mature momentum of practice. That's 7 of Wands for me. And willingness to sit with one's feelings. Sitting with feelings for me is very much 4 of Cups. 4 of Cups isn't just about boredom to me. That's very one-sided and not very deep and complex. 4s for me are about foundation, not stability. Stability is 8 for me. You have a foundation on top. You have a 4 on top of a 4. 8s are a little bit more planted. But fours lay that foundation for all of the things to come. And having a solid foundation emotionally is key for just so many things, for the way you process stuff. So I associate sitting with feelings a lot with the Four of Cups. It's just that I'm going to just, not move for a little while and just sit with my own self and see what happens. And sometimes it's just not fun at all. In fact, a lot of the times it's not fun at all. It's where oftentimes a lot of profound insight comes from, is just when you take the time to just sit with yourself and let things unfold. I think that's the reason why so many people struggle with meditation too, or have an aversion to meditation, because the inside of one's thoughts is one of the scariest places to be. The recesses of your mind are terrifying. They can be, not always, but just the things that emerge, it can be confronting and just not at all pleasant to deal with. But if you work on that acceptance piece, then some really great things can emerge from that. So those are my one-liners. Just really, really simple. I might change this up depending on how I feel, but as of now, I've just liked kind of going back to basics and seeing, I have 3 cards in front of me. How would I interpret this in just a short, sweet, simple, to the point kind of way? And it's been really good for me. This reminds me of when I started learning tarot and the meanings and how to put the cards together. And I think it's really important to go back to basics every now and again, even if you think you are proficient. That may be true, but going back to the basics for me can oftentimes only enhance that proficiency and make it deeper. I've been working with Psychic Witch by Matt Oren a lot. I mentioned that in another video, and he emphasizes how important it is to go back to the basics no matter what practice you're engaging in, because you accumulate this experience and this knowledge and this insight, in whatever cycle you're in. But then when you flip it and reverse it and go back and do some work with that those foundational pieces, your schema and your own personal gnosis can often be enriched and deepen. I love this. I'm having so much fun, and I'm having fun watching all of the responses and things. The light is fading, and there's lots of noise. There's noise up here. So I'm going to get off of here and run some errands. I haven't even run my errands, and it's already going to get dark, but that's okay. It's Saturday and I don't have to worry about being anywhere tomorrow. So I'm going to go. I will post again maybe next Saturday. Haven't quite decided. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, until the next one, take care. Be well.